Look what the cat dragged in. And we're live.
I just couldn't click on buttons fast enough.
Oh, wow. Did y'all see what happened?
Yeah, I was like, okay, hold on. No explanation needed.
Well, guys, Roger and Rosie Hayer with Brittany Daly.
Hi.
And we're here on the RBR Show. Guys, can you believe it's episode 71?
What?
Yeah. We're inching our way to the 100th episode.
I didn't know this. That's fun.
Wow. That's nice. I like it.
And I know we've been doing this for a lot longer than that. We've done more than 71 episodes, but this is episode 71.
We just tracked 71.
Yeah, we just tracked 71. We've been doing this for a while. That's exciting. So how's everybody doing?
I'm doing good.
You doing good? Rosie?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, guys, I'm really excited about the real estate market and the economy and everything else. Look, there's opportunity everywhere. This is the time that all of us have been waiting for. And there's something really exciting about that. That's my personal, take on that. And because when things are so competitive, you have people lining up outside the door, one showing after the other. Everybody was talking about, man, I'm so ready when the market shifts, I'm going to move in. And I'm seeing a lot of people are actually doing exactly that, and some are not. So hopefully we get to talk a little bit about that today. And but I wanted to, I don't know, did y'all see the Slack I sent y'all?
That's exactly what got me late. I was looking at her Slack. I was looking at your Slack. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's 2:00.
All the Slacks.
Yeah.
And Slack is such a platform, like everybody's using it, and a few years ago we wouldn't have known what it was.
Slack doesn't let you Slack.
What is it? Like, yeah, so that's cool.
No, hold on. I think there's only one person who Slacks on Slack.
And we're looking at Rod.
He needs a text message to check his Slack.
Let's get that right. What is Slack?
Please don't give him permission. Huh?
I don't understand why. I mean, okay, I get Slack, but I don't get Slack because texting seems so much easier, but then I understand you need a platform. I don't know. It's just really weird. I don't get it sometimes. Like if I text you, Bree, that's so much easier for me. My phone's gonna ding because I turn notifications off. They're a distraction for me sometimes. I don't like my apps like ringing on me like that. But
I think Slack is good when you are on the computer and your phone is on Do Not Disturb, because then you're like able to focus. Or you go to Slack, if you go to your phone and check your text messages, you're going to get distracted. But if you just go to Slack and check the messages, this is what I need to do. For me.
I'm gonna start using that mentality around Slack then.
Look, if I check my text messages, I'm gonna be like, oh, I need to put out this fire and this fire and this fire. Then I forgot what I was doing 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Rosie,
so guys, I found a really cool list of 10 types of properties you shouldn't buy. But I think, I don't know, I'd still buy them if the price was right. Like, so I looked down the list and I was like, I don't know, I'd still buy that if the price was right. But just know there's a bag of worms that can come with it. Or if you have the right expectations, those could be like a bag of candy that you don't want to eat from the previous Halloween.
Was what?
Did you see the list? I sent you the list. Did you see it?
I saw it, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it's the 10 type of properties that if you buy, perhaps they could like throw a wrench in your plans. So one of the properties that I think we're all familiar with is a house on a busy street. So
guys, how are you now? You just jumped into the conversation, but you didn't preface it. What are we about to talk about?
Please preface it. Thank you.
Well, you need to tell us what you're talking about. You just went to Slack and did you check my message in Slack? Like, catch me up. What are we talking about?
I think I did do that. You weren't paying attention, probably.
You were saying, hey, one of the properties that I would buy is if the price is right. Like,
No, we were talking about the 10 types of properties that look, this is the conversation. The conversation is the 10 type of properties that you don't want to buy as an investor, okay? But I don't think necessarily it's always so clear cut. Cuz the question you got to ask yourself is, well, if I negotiate a really good price on it or negotiate really good terms on it, is it would it be okay to buy this property? I think there's a lot more that goes into it. So, I don't think it's so clear cut, but we could talk about it. I think it's a conversation. So,
Okay, so I'm gonna back up a little bit. Roger sent us.
yeah,
a
I
list
saw a checklist, long checklist.
what is she
that
not understanding? Her and I had a long conversation about
might
this.
not. You sent us a list that you found, not our opinion, but a
Yeah.
list that you found online that says these are 10 things to look out for in investment property that are bad.
Yeah, 10 things that you necessarily don't want in a investment property. And so I was like, well, you could play with some of these ideas, and maybe there's a lot of other things that you guys want to touch on. I'm sure the conversation will bounce around. But why don't we go down that list and see under what circumstances would y'all invest in those properties? Fair enough?
Yep.
Rosie, do you understand, or are we still stuck?
Roger got some
Please.
intensity on him today. Check my text message first.
Wow, I hope that he's not so intense.
Yeah, no, he's like, oh, I'm used to 10 times this.
Okay, anyways, we're going to jump in now. What do y'all think?
Okay, perfect. So basically what we're going to do is we invest in Texas market. That's what we do, right? And people buy properties with us all the time. We're going to put these ideas to test today, and were they true for us in our real life or not?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Roger, throw first one at us, and we'll see if it's bullshit.
Oh, play the bullshit.
There's probably some truth to these. They're all good ideas. This is a little bit exciting to talk about. Short-term rentals. What are your opinions on that? So you don't want to buy a property necessarily based on its performance as a short-term rental. And can we go into detail on why y'all think that's true?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I can go on this. Can I?
Yeah, please.
All right. So hear me out. A lot of people, when the market was good and Airbnb was a big vibe. It was a great vibe. People were like, wow, I just want to buy and rent a property because I can literally Airbnb $5,000 a month. I was like, great, buy that property, no problem. But before you buy that property, what we also need to make sure is that, does it qualify for a long-term rental? Because oftentimes when the property does not qualify for a long-term rental and we're excited about the short-term, the moment Airbnb market got flooded, which means every other property was an Airbnb, the inventory went up, supply went up, which means prices became more competitive and the Airbnb short-term rental business went down. And all those people now had to sell their stuff and switch to long-term rental, but the long-term rental payments were not making sense because you only have one tenant a month. If your mortgage payment is $3,000 a month and tenant can only pay $2,200 a month in the market, you're negative $800. So what we always knock on the wood, not a single client of us bought property just for short-term rental. We qualified it for long-term rental. They chose to do short-term rental. That was their choice. So the reason I'm bringing it up is because the best thing to do is buy the property that makes sense for long-term rental. And if you need to change it to short-term rental, you do it. But if it doesn't work out for you, you can switch to long-term and hold on to the property and not be negative. So that was like us. Bree, what was your experience?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, we always look at long-term rental. People, I think the issue with short-term rental is it looks sexy, right? People say, oh, $5,000 a month and my payment is $2,500, whatever, right? I'm making a profit of $2,500, but they don't see the time and effort that it takes to run the short-term rentals. So like you said, if they wanted to do that, we always qualified it as long-term rental first. If the numbers made sense with long-term rental and they choose to do short-term, that's on them.
Let's just talk about that one more time, what you just mentioned, Bree. What people forget, most people forget to realize that anything that is high cash flow can be high operational.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're looking at $5,000 a month revenue just from one house, that means X number of check-in and checkouts, X number of reservations fulfilled, X number of repair calls in the middle of the night, and X number of cleanups for move out for the next guest to come in.
But before we even get that far, let me elaborate on that part right there. Is that to manage all of that under one roof is hard enough.
Yeah.
To do the laundry, to clean up, because I have personal experience from the hospitality business, and so you couldn't pay me to do a short-term rental because unless you're maximizing for the cash flow you got to be on top of it, making sure that the next guest has access to the property, and with all the different things that can fall in place and disrupt that, it's almost not worth it. And then I think what people don't calculate. Those numbers sound really good, like you said, Bree, like that $5,000 a month, but they don't take in consideration any of the P&L line items that would come into play that would cause that number to go down quick.
Yeah,
exactly. And if you're not able to do it at scale, like we stayed at an Airbnb, right? It was one house in California when we went for that convention. We were checking out and the cleaning people were going in, right? Imagine your cleaning crew has to go from one house to another that might not be next to each other. So it's not economy of scale. We ran hospitality business. We know what it takes to manage a 60 to 80 room property. When a housekeeping staff comes in, it's almost easier to have 40 rooms get cleaned at once rather than having one house cleaned for one checkout, because there's economy of scale. It's much more profitable at scale than one house.
What's that formula for introducing a complexity? I think it's like if you go from, let's say, 3 levels of complexity or 3 items of complexity, and when you throw in the 4th one, you've increased complexity by like 1,200% or something.
400%. 400%. For each 1% added to the team, the complexity goes up by 400%.
And I would think it's probably beyond just people.
Yeah.
People is a big part of any business.
Yeah.
But then you have other things like vacuums not working, or this not happening, or the housekeeper can't show up, and now the resident. So like complexity goes up rather high, really
quickly. Yeah. So it's not like a passive investment; it's an active investment.
Might be a good idea to start with the Airbnb as a service provider and see how you like that. And if you can scale that, then add some properties to your portfolio.
We didn't even do it for long term, but one of our investors had bought the properties, and they were like, Airbnb. I got them to first hire an Airbnb company to run rental out of their property and just sit back and collect cash.
Yeah.
And then later on, when that company left, and guess what was happening? When that company was there, because it's a non-HOA, cops were getting called every night because people were coming in and getting drunk and all that stuff and shouting in the streets. And he got sick and tired of those complaints. And when the Airbnb company was asked to leave, they had to sell the property because rentals were not making sense to cover the mortgage. So imagine if we would.
What do you say to somebody that has a friend who has 20 Airbnbs?
Ask them what their day-to-day activities look like.
Man, some of these people can make anything look glamorous. I've seen. And look, you're probably thinking, why is a real estate company talking us out of buying Airbnbs? We're not. We're just giving you both sides of it.
We're just saying that don't make it in. By the way, banks would not give you a loan based on short-term rental.
I know every time I got a short-term rental, it was to have a good time.
Well, I'll give you one last thing.
Yeah.
If you are going after short-term rental, but you're a passive kind of investor.
Sorry.
That was bad.
That was
Bad.
scary.
Okay, listen, if you're going after short-term rental and that's what's attractive to you, and you're a passive investor, I'm afraid 90% of the real estate is not available for you to buy because not a single neighborhood with HOA is going to allow short-term rentals. So you're
That's
going to end up saying no to 90% of the investment.
No, it's
That's
true.
all.
They don't always think about the other things. Like, okay, like in Austin proper, for instance, you couldn't even ask to get a permit until after you closed on the home. So you're running a big chance of not even being able to get a permit on a property that you just bought for short-term rental.
I'm just going to save you all the effort. If it's HOA, don't even try.
No,
Ninety-
HOA, no. But even then, you still have to get a permit from the city.
Yep, you have to
Yeah.
get the permit.
And you can't do that till the property is in your name.
And closed.
So,
Can we talk about high HOA dues?
oh,
HOA dues, oh yeah. We have an auction property and all investors said pass because it's $300 a month HOA.
And then
We have
the
another property right now that's not moving because HOAs don't make sense.
it really kind of reduces your buyer pool.
yeah.
Big
And
time.
I think people don't understand the significance of retaining 100% of your buyer pool.
They don't, yeah. And HOAs, sometimes they don't have enough parking spots. Condos are high HOAs. They don't have enough parking spots. So you're going to only attract a certain type of tenant. And first of all, why do people like condos? Let's talk about that.
It's a
don't
low
think-
cost of entry. That's why.
Well, hold on. It's a low cost of entry on the price.
On the price. That's all they think about. That's
But
why.
So it's low price of entry on the price, but not on the mortgage payment.
Yeah, mortgage payment is more.
Lifestyle doesn't have much to do with it. I would suspect that lifestyle, like living closer, more dense areas, food, and all that.
Well, people don't want yard walkability, and sometimes HOAs cover water and electric. Then it makes sense. Like you're single and you're not committed to a place yet, and you're traveling all the time. You don't want a big house.
You guys, what we just did, we reduced the buyer pool immediately.
You see what we did? We shrunk the buyer pool all the way.
Yeah, it shrunk.
This is exactly what's going to happen to your tenant pool, and this is what's going to happen to your profit pool too.
So why is it important to retain your buyer pool?
More buyers, more possibilities.
More competition, and you can withstand market fluctuations.
You can say, Raju studied today.
No, actually, I didn't. This is all intuitive knowledge over the years. It's speaking from the heart.
Intuitive.
No, I think what I've seen is when the property is too niche, what ends up happening is let's say you have 10 buyers, automatically you reduced it down. It's got its HOA fees and then this and that and the floor plan. And now you're left with 3 people, and those 3 people are left to compete on that property. And what that does is, in a fluctuating market, it causes the price to drastically start dropping. So the more buyers you can retain in that market, the better. Like, for instance, pools. Not everybody wants a pool. So now you're not paying dollar for dollar for that pool.
You want to know a fact about Austin? About a pool?
Yeah.
Austin is the city with the most pools that have been filled in.
Get out. Wow.
What does that mean, filled in?
Meaning they've filled it in and covered it. Like, it had a pool, now the pool is no more, and it's, the grass.
I think our investor friends are probably to blame for that too, because investors don't want pools.
Oh, you mean like houses had pools and they filled it in and put grass up?
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder, because water is always scarce here. I look at hill country, by the way. I don't know about Houston weather. They have like lush green grass.
Oh, yeah.
You could go to the most rundown neighborhood. They still have green yard. In Austin, you can go to the most high-end neighborhood. The grass is saying, hello. I'm a little bit here. a little bit there.
And Houston has the pretty St. Augustine grass that I love. Anytime I see St. Augustine, I'm always like here. I'm like, oh, you have the pretty grass.
Bree, no, we tried St. Augustine too, and that also went.
Oh,
No.
it's not gonna. It's still not going to, but it's so pretty.
It's so pretty. It was so
All right.
pretty for the 1 year we had it.
I have a question. When would somebody find it okay to buy a rental property with a bad floor plan? Or bad floor plans? What are y'all's ideas on bad?
Well, bad floor plan basically means, in a good way, no bedroom downstairs. Those are hard to rent, hard to sell. Okay, so having a bedroom downstairs is very important. It cuts some demographics out. Bad floor plan also means that something that is too chopped off.
Yeah.
The square footage is larger, but it doesn't look really good. Bad floor plan could also seem like where closets and rooms are not proportional.
Can I say something that might be controversial?
Yeah, say it.
I don't know that there is a bad floor plan because you mentioned, okay, I am from Texas. To me, either ranch style or 1 bedroom downstairs, rest upstairs. I work with a lot of buyers from out of state. California and the East Coast, they think it's weird if there's bedrooms downstairs.
Oh.
They like the primary bedroom to be upstairs because that's what they're used to. And so I'm actually working with a buyer now, which this is going to be very bad to some people. They don't want an open floor plan. They want the kitchen to be tucked away in a corner, which that is eliminating a lot of properties for us. You know what I mean?
So is this homestead buyer or investor buyer?
Well, the kitchen.
Yeah.
The kitchen one is a homestead buyer.
Homestead buyer. And the ones who want no bedroom downstairs, the homestead or investors?
I've had both.
Okay. So one thing that, first of all, this is great perspective to have. But if investors are buying, right, we have to understand who's renting if you're buying something for investment. Are those people going from the California who are going to be renting it? If people are local in Texas, right, they call some things inconvenient. Like we saw a floor plan, Bree, in Gerald. You walk in, there is this like open floor, and then the stairs are from the corner going up. There is a kitchen, and the entry to the backyard is through the kitchen. I even got lost trying to figure out where am I standing and what do I need to get contractors done.
You know what I think is a bad floor plan? A restroom in the kitchen.
That is a bad floor plan.
Don't buy that property.
The half bath in the kitchen, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Why do you guys cover your mouth when you laugh? Both of you.
That's funny. Come on.
Just a natural thing.
Yeah.
What do you do? No?
Look, she's doing it. She's covering her mouth.
I got it out of you, girl.
Oh, man.
Now, what do y'all think? Just because someone's doing it doesn't make it right or wrong. And then also, we're talking about resale and the opportunity of turning it into a rental property. And so do you guys feel like those are hindrances later on for potential renters to not have the open floor plan or a bad floor plan? Yeah.
Sometimes yes and no. The goal whenever we're buying investment is to try to appease the most amount of tenants. So if we can appease the most amount of people, then obviously we're going to have a better chance of renting the property out and then later on selling it. I will say one thing though. Sometimes even investors, had an investor who came down, I would say maybe it was last month, and they were very perplexed that most of our primary bedrooms, single story or double story, doesn't matter, that were on the first floor, are near a living room or kitchen. Like you don't have a hallway. You're kind of near the living room or the kitchen and there's a door. They think that is the weirdest thing. And they were like,
the room in the kitchen not having any any room in between them? Like
No, the primary bedroom, like let's say the kitchen is here, right? And the living room is right here, right? It's an open floor plan. And the primary bedroom is right off of that. Right off of the kitchen, right off of the living room. But that's 95% of our floor plans.
Yeah.
Most of them are right off of that. But because people aren't used to something like that, I think it's like when you're not used to something in your mind, you think that that's odd, and if you don't know the market, right, you think, oh, no one's going to want to rent this out because you're not used to it. So you wouldn't personally rent it out, but you might not know, what is common in this area.
You just said the magic word common. And I think if there's other homes in that area that have that feature, then you're safe. Because if they go look at 3 other properties and they're exactly the same way, then you're in good hands. So I think it'd be all right. But if you're a one-off, that's going to be totally trouble down the road.
I have one observation that I personally have experienced. I would say if you're buying something that you're going to rent it out, right? Like every person who buys a first single family home, if they just still push their house through this filter, you're going to eliminate a lot of problems. If a house is sitting on the market for a very long time, and every other house in the neighborhood is different floor plan than the one you're looking at, and you're about to get a huge discount on negotiating on that property because you like that floor plan, nobody else does, but you're happy with it, I want you to just write a letter to yourself and put it in your briefcase and open it the day you're going to sell it.
Yeah.
And the letter is going to say something like this: I fell in love with this house because of the uniqueness of the property. I love how weird the floor plan was, but it worked perfectly for me because it got me to allow my kids to play in peace and quiet while I slept at night in my bedroom that was tucked away nicely in that little corner. And this house was sitting on the market for 163 days, and I took the opportunity to negotiate the best price I possibly could. And I bought that property $70,000 below market value. And I'm writing this letter to remind myself that I might have to give away the same kind of discount, if necessary, when I'm selling that property.
Write that letter, send it to us, and we'll hand it to you.
Open it for you. People forget the gains they make when they're buying it, and there is amnesia when we're about to sell it. Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to come into the same alley, the same discounts you got when you bought it, you're going to have to give it when you're selling it. But did you sell it for more than what you bought it for? If you did, be happy and move on.
That's a good point. Are you handing that discount that you got down to the next person?
I don't know about the discount, but I'm handing that letter. And Bree is responsible to bring me that letter because she's helping them buy side.
What's your experience, Bree, on homes near schools? Like I'm talking about directly backing up to the school.
We typically are not looking at any homes that are backing up to really anything other than another home.
Well, up to elementary, it's really helpful, Bree, because you can grab your kid and drop it into the school from your back. Okay? Because you don't have to drive around and be in that 2-mile lane for 2 hours where you are directed in the traffic and you lose half your life. You take your kid, pack your lunchbox, and if you forgot and you don't have time to make your lunch, you say, hey, come meet me in the break. I'll have your lunch ready.
I have some tips on this. So if you are taking showings for your home, take them outside of those hours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Drop off.
No, you don't do that. You take him during that time and say, hey, remember I showed you this problem? So you don't call me later and tell me, I can't sleep in the afternoon, take a nap after a long day of work.
Well, look, I'm not favorable for reducing showings. I think your property should, when you list it for sale, it's like a hotel. You have to let the guests come stay or come preview, right? In this case. And so anytime you reduce the number of showings, you're taking a hit in the bank account.
Oh, you're basically saying when you're selling the property, block those hours.
If you can schedule them.
I'm telling you, street smart, this guy, oh my gosh.
That's really good. That's a good note for these sellers if they're backing up to something.
Listing agents, if you have a house backed up to the school,
I would definitely be
Long
watching
hours of
those.
school for no showings.
That is so funny.
It's never dawned on me to be a problem because I have family that actually has a house that backs up to a school in Leander. And it never really, I never thought of it as a bad thing because, you get to hear the children playing and everything. It's quite delightful, like laughing and all this. But I can understand if you're coming to preview the property and you're going to go to work in the mornings or come home around 3 and now you're having to deal with all this traffic. It could be a slight setback, but I don't think, maybe not here in Texas because we don't really, I don't
Go to
know.
school here.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think all neighborhoods have schools, and we've kind of learned that
Most
that's
neighborhoods have a school. Look, I would say it's not first pick.
yeah.
If you are investment,
Guys, yeah, no, Brie, first of all,
investment.
people who don't have kids and kids are already graduated, they don't want to be reminded of that. You are going to run into a problem.
Yeah,
You are.
this is something.
We'll hear about it.
And you don't mind, and that like that's your personal preference homestead, then you live with that, and in the future when you go to sell, that might be, I don't know, Rosie, you are on the listing side, but here's my point of view on the buyer side. If I have a house that is backed up to a school or a busy road, whatever, and then I have another house, the exact same house with the exact same features, that is across the street, not backed up to the busy road or house, those two homes are not going to sell that far apart in price, but
Right.
one might sell for slightly quicker than the other. But I don't see huge price adjustments on this buying side when I'm looking at these two things when I look at the data.
Yeah.
It's because probably there's so many other factors. Good conversation to have. Inventory. If inventory is scarce, no problem. But if inventory is available, those houses anything backed up to the busy road do suffer.
I think in
And
a market, you're going to feel it.
yeah, and people offset those back to street homes by adding pools, beautiful pergolas. Like you have to always
They
do
do,
something
they do normally have a badass backyard.
back.
Yeah.
Yes, because they're
really-
trying to offset. Yeah, yeah.
Offset
So
it.
if they didn't sell for a much different price, is because they might have done something significantly beautiful to offset that source site.
Yeah. But they will take longer to sell. That is one thing I have noticed. The one that's not backed up to a school or whatever will sell quicker.
Yeah, yeah. Desirability is higher.
I think you guys are right. If you set the right expectations for yourself, for instance, like water towers are really tacky to me. If I have a property that's got a big water tower on the back,
Or electrical tower.
electrical tower, but I'm going in and getting a discount, significant discount on the buy side. And then I have my expectations set that when renters come in here, they're not going to like this property. So my rent's got to be lower than market, and it's going to take a little bit longer to rent out.
Listen,
As long as my expectations are right, I'm not going to have a problem.
I had a house in Leander, and the house backed up to a train station, railroad track. And the guy's like, "This never bothers me." I was like, "Really?" Like, I was in the middle of the appointment, and I couldn't even have a conversation in the living room with him because the train was so loud. And I said, he said, at night. It was like around in the 6 and 7. He said, I'm going to work by then. He worked night shifts.
Uh,
So he slept during the day. And
now,
I was like,
you guys know Rory,
through the night.
you know Rory Sutherland, the author.
Yeah.
He talks about, things and always don't have to make sense. And so he's like, I love trains and I would love to live next to a train station and to get the discount, get a discount, be around trains, best of both worlds, So right expectation, you
I
can
like
have
it.
the right experience.
I like it. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, this was very interesting conversation. It just woke up all my memories of selling different houses at once, which I was not planning to. This was very, very like a stimulating conversation for me because in my head I literally have addresses popping and seller conversations and negotiations.
I know, it's bringing everything to life, right?
Oh, it's giving me a little stress right now.
Stressed. Do you say stress?
Yeah, laugh, laugh. Both of you don't have to do what I do. Laugh, laugh. Yeah, come on.
I think the other ones don't apply so much, but what would y'all say to homes that maybe in areas that aren't appreciating, and that's kind of forecasting, right? So they said don't buy properties that are in overbuilt areas where you're going to have less likelihood for appreciation. But that's kind of hard to tell because you could. How many people do you know that bought in the right area in the green belt, and now there's a subdivision going up behind them? I mean,
That, oh my gosh, I just want to say something. Do not pay premium for green belt in the middle of the city. Okay. I have seen too many buyers pay 50, 60K extra for a green belt in the back. And guess what happened 7 years later? They built an apartment complex. You can have all the petitions. You can have a whole neighborhood sign off on it. And you can just go to the city. Let me tell you something. Nobody is going to come saving your ass because they love the property tax that's about to land in city's pocket from an apartment complex rather than beautiful trees. Trees don't pay taxes.
Trees don't.
Apartment complexes do. So unless we're willing to write the check for the trees, guys, and it's such a sad truth of the market. So please do not pay $60,000 for a green belt you see today and might go away in 5 years.
Yeah.
Just buy an inventory home.
Yeah.
No, you know what you should buy? You should buy in a neighborhood where you can go on a trail walk to see the real trees.
Yeah.
Okay. That is much better.
Now, if you can buy a property in an established area and there's no more, there's fewer odds of things coming into the area. I mean, I like Brittany's idea the most. But in the case that you can't, or you like these other areas, then you want to look at something that's kind of already built out and has, retail shopping and everything nearby, and there's no fear of any new inventory being released into the market.
Guys, what about retention ponds?
Retention ponds, yeah. If they're pretty versus ugly?
No. I don't care what kind of retention pond it is. And I don't care if it's in the front or in the back. Run.
Well, that's to be distinguished between a retention pond and an aesthetic pond. A little mini lake.
It's an aesthetic pond with a little fountain. That's like a luxury. But if it's a concrete where the whole neighborhood drains, guys, you will pay the price. I literally get stress chills on my face when I say these things because I remember the arguments I had selling those properties.
Oh yeah, not with me. No, with the seller. With the sellers, those are your buyers, agents.
Okay. My problem is your problem.
Hey, look. If you're watching today's show, you may be realizing that there's a lot of homes out there that you shouldn't be buying. And we could be the real estate company that tells you, no, you'll be fine, buy it. But that's not who we are, and we want to see you win. So we want to see you go from one property to the next. We want to see your real estate portfolio, grow. Because, I mean, the goalpost is always moving, right? You can buy one property as a rental property, and then you're going to want another one because you're going to realize how easy it is. And then when you buy the second one, then what's keeping you from the third and fourth and so on? And so you can only do that when your first few decisions are perfect. You want your first few decisions to be positioning you for the future decisions that you're going to make. So while there's a lot of properties out there that you could buy, just know that we're interested in seeing your portfolio grow.
And one more thing, guys. There is something that happens in real estate business that Roger is not openly talking about. And this goes like this. Whenever we have just got it a negotiated great offer, deal is made and just like landed 3-4 contracts, Roger would be like, hey, what happened? Oh, I said, and I'm not going to catch you up on all 5 properties, but it's a good news. Okay, great. And sometimes I'm having a very difficult conversation and you can tell that this conversation is going to go south very fast and contracts might fall apart. And then Roger just bypasses and he's like, nah, I don't need to know about this. I kind of get where it is. So this is just like buying a property in a good area versus bad features. You have a good feature, everybody's going to poke it into your door and say, what's going on? How much you're selling for? What price? We just fixed a property in Pflugerville. Stager is like, what are you going to list it at? Because she's probably staging, just finished staging similar price point and a higher price point. And I told her the price point. She said, what? Is that cheap? I said, you know what? Stagers should never give opinion on pricing.
Oh,
Never.
yeah.
There are so many times stagers have walked into the properties and said, wow, this can sell for so much more. How do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know? A same piece of real estate, whatever place was 900K, but in Pflugerville would sell for 500K.
Property
Right?
inspectors. That's another one.
Well, next week we will go into property inspectors because we got some beef to pick with them.
Yeah, that's good. You know next week's topic then.
40
Guys,
minutes and 42 seconds of high value conversation today. Today, Bree, I would like to thank Roger because he did a good job. He led a very good conversation today.
Yeah, this was good. I liked it too.
You pulled out some worms of real estate that I was not willing to go there, but
But we went there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Guys, Rivet Auctions, if you are looking to buy or sell a property, trust me, this is a great market for Rivet Auctions. And Rosie, a lot of people think that your property's got to be distressed in order for you to do Rivet Auctions.
Guys.
I do Rivet Auctions on my own property because you're going to get to market value the fastest.
Guys, let me tell you something. All luxury art, all luxury real estate gets sold at auctions. Wherever you read that article for distressed, you might be referring to the bank auctions for foreclosures. It's not that. So cut it, give it a shot, do something different for God's sake.
On that same token, we do have properties that fit that bill that, if you're looking for a good purchase and you want to rent something out, this is a great place to do that. We have 1031 exchange sellers. They want to sell and they want to buy into something else. They have tenants in place and they don't want to take showings and disrupt anything that they got going on. So we have all sorts of situations arising through auction, and don't sleep on it. So come out, register on the website, rivetauctions.com, and we'd love to.
We have some pretty good deals coming for you.
I do.
Yeah.
Auctions and non-auctions. You pick. And if you heard it auctioned, you heard it from us first.
Yeah, there's a lot of properties out there, as Bree was saying.
You got 5 seconds, honey. 3 seconds.
I know, it's fine.
42 minutes or 42 seconds of high value today. Happy Tuesday, guys. See you next week. We're going to have another kick-ass conversation. Love you all. Keep sending us messages. Keep telling us what you like, what you don't like. We're listening all the time.
Absolutely. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.